I think it's exactly what you're saying. I think we say all the time, but we don't always have the ears to hear.
Yes.
Is that we have to pay attention to our lives.
Mm.
And everything that you're describing is really just presence. It's why practicing the presence of God, I think that's the title, by Brother Lawrence, is a spiritual classic, why it's a spiritual discipline, why Father Walter Chiswick describes the 24 hours of our lives as God's will for us. And we just have to pay attention to our lives instead of trying to discern what's out there or anticipate what's next or look for God's will in our lives. We just actually need to look at our toddler and actually see them. And I know what you mean, Jenna. It's a holy thing to like look at a person and it's like the veil lifts for a minute and you're like, that person, that soul like reveals something unique about God and is so worthy of love. It's like, it's stunning, but it's so simple and ordinary. It's like it's hidden in plain sight, but you have to be going slow enough to see it, to enter into it, for the Lord to lift the veil. I don't think we need to talk about healing like head on. I actually think there are lots of other things that prevent or make it hard for us to receive the healing that God is always giving.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Okay, I feel kind of this pressure to like bring it around to healing, but yeah, in typical God fashion, we think it's about one thing, but he's like, actually, here's your attention is divided. Your central nervous system is out of whack. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not hydrated. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we want healing. And he's like, yeah, let's just put your phone away and slow down and like take a few deep breaths. That's healing.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Beth and I have been talking recently about just wanting to share more like practical things about life. There was a great question in the app, like share a practical tip on spending time with my husband. I gave a very long answer.
It was so awesome.
Whereas before I would be like, so much to get into to share an answer, but Beth tagged me in it, which I was grateful for. So then I had to answer. And I was able to share like from an honest place. But sometimes I think like this is too practical. Like this is the truth. Even spending time with my husband is that when he gets home or when I get home, I sit down and I look at him and like reverence the moment of looking at him. But like, that's almost so foundational that we want a different kind of solution.
100%. I think just to do what I do and take it to this totally other level, I think this is why people get into New Age.
Okay.
I think they want something super spiritual and other. They do not want the incarnation, which is the simple, ordinary beauty and like divinity hidden in everyday life.
Wow.
They don't want, this is why the angels became demons and rebelled against God, because they could not fathom God, who is totally other, being born in space and time and putting on the flesh and the life of his own creatures. It was so disgusting to them. So I think there's something in us that thinks it's too simple to just do my little bit, look people in the eye, speak with kindness, make my bed every day, tell the truth. We think it's beneath us to do these little things. We want something really lofty and esoteric, which ultimately we could not attain. Like we can't do it, which would maybe even it would sort of let us off the hook. Yeah, the app for me is a great place for this. I love the questions the women have, and it's so vulnerable and honest. It's such a protected place that they feel they can share these questions. And someone just said, like, I don't know how to discern what to watch. It seems like everywhere I turn, no matter like show or movie, whatever I put on is in some way like I have to compromise my values. Like, and I'm probably even saying more than she did. But again, just very practically, I shared my experience of this. I sounded just like you did in your response to the marriage question. Like, I don't do this perfectly, but here's what I aim for. And what I aim for is vigilance. I aim for a very sensitive conscience, and I ask God for purity so that the minute I see something that is offensive to God's purity and the purity that he's restored in me, I turn it off. I don't fast forward or roll my eyes or just say like, whatever, like that's Hollywood, or like I stop. Like I want to have that vigilance. And when I don't, I bring it to confession every time. And that might seem nitpicky to someone, but that's an extremely practical way that I keep my conscience sensitive.
It's beautiful.
I don't do it perfectly.
Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with us.
We love praying with you, and we want to do that some more. So hit the subscribe button, like this video, and turn on your notifications bell. Bing!